Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Toon review for Fan Forum night. And as usual, we will bring on the rabble in a moment. Just some quick news. Obviously broke tonight that Diaby has decided that he's staying at Leverkusen next season. He will not be a Newcastle United player this summer. That has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, as well as the player himself. His quotes saying he's staying at Leverkusen. Obviously, Champions League is very appealing to him, and Leverkusen obviously playing in the Champions League next season. So it's a no-no for Diaby. So we move on and we try and pick somebody else up. Trolls, thank you for your 100 krona, mate. Straight off the bat, thank you very much. Really kind. Really appreciate that, buddy.
Happy birthday, Rachel. Well.
Sorry?
It's his birthday today, so happy birthday.
Oh, it is, yes. Happy birthday, Trolls. Thank you very much. Oh, the birthday. Really do appreciate that, and I hope you've had a cracking day, buddy. Mark says Paqueta apparently price slashed. Can't see it, to be fair, but we should be going in for him. I agree. But again, we just have to wait and see what the club do, because at the end of the day, it is the club's decision what they want to do. Don't forget to hit the likes, peeps. Good evening, Stu. Glenn says, you on Channel Toon review, please do not swear. Day 367, and Paul got rid of his Man United headset because Alex kept ribbing him. I was due an upgrade anyway, to be honest. It wasn't Alex. It wasn't. It could have been, but it wasn't. We've got another super chat comment from Carl Freeburn, £6.10. Well, there you go. Thank you very much, Carl. Do appreciate that, buddy. Everybody's saying happy birthday to Trolls in the chat. Simon's birthday as well. 50.
Happy birthday, Simon.
Half century, buddy. Happy birthday to you as well. Jason says, rest in peace, Diaby. Hope that's Fahrenheit, Jock. Yeah, I think it was. Any news on Paqueta and Diaby? Yeah, Diaby's not coming. Simple as that. He isn't coming. Just simple as that. We move on. There was a report from Ben Jacobs this morning, which I did a video on earlier today, that he was interested in a move should Bayer Leverkusen want to sell, and that they came to a decent price. But that price is quoted by Fabrizio Romano as 65 million, which is, wow. I mean, it's a lot of money. Yes, he's probably worth it at the end of the day, but it's not going to happen, guys. Glenn says, I hope we sign at least one of them, but to be honest, don't know much about them apart from Stato info, but they sound mint. Well, Paqueta is the one I think we should go for now. I really do. And another striker, but we'll see what the guys say when they come on. Evening V, hope you're well. Evening Jonathan. Simon says, maybe we should do a Barca and sell some of our future TV rights so we can go on a splurge and still be okay with wages. I don't think Barcelona's the best team to look at as to how to go about spending money. They are seriously in debt, but they kept getting bailed out, of course, by the usual crumpets of banks and things like that. But that's how it works in Spain, unfortunately for us. Troll says, my dad ordered the home shirt as a present. Sad thing is, Lascelles is on the back, but that's nothing black and white Marcus can't fix. A big news, Billy. I got an email off Castoria tonight.
All right.
They've located my order and they've given me an order number, and they've used the same excuse that they've used to everybody else, that they were moving distribution centres and the shirt should be with us within 7 to 10 days. So there you go. We'll just have to wait and see. But, they didn't explain why I no longer have an account on the Castoria NUFC store. They don't know what's happened there. But at least they got my order number. So I've got that now, which is a bonus. Matty says, good evening, Toon Review team. Hope you're all well. Looking forward to some good conversations and hear other people's opinions tonight. Yeah, I think it'll be quite a fiery one tonight, judging by some of the rabble I can see waiting to come on. Evening, Stu. Evening, team, says Jacker. Up the A1's in the house. Good evening. Foxy says, fair enough. Good luck to Diaby for the upcoming season at Leverkusen. Yeah, I'm not going to blame him. At least he didn't drag us on like a certain Ekitike did, saying one thing and then his agent saying another, and it just went on and on and on. At least he was honest enough to say he wants to stay by Leverkusen and play in the Champions League next season. By the way, I do apologize if I keep wiping my brow with a towel, because it is... I think it's something like 43 degrees in my living room at the minute, which is, I'm expecting, tropical animals to start crawling in, and spiders and whatever.
I'm sweating like Fred West watching Ground Force.
Nice. Yeah. I don't think he was much of a fan of Ground Force, Billy.
No.
V says, I got sent someone else's ticket for the Bilbao game and only realised today. Gonna have to call the box office tomorrow and try and clean up their mess. Look, there will be a couple of mistakes in the box office, but listen, I'll tell you something now. The dealings I had with the box office last season, when I kept forgetting my season ticket for, I think it was 3 games in a row, they were fantastic, much more friendly, much more professional than what they were under the previous regime. Anyone else still feeling ill today? 3-hour return trip to Durham for a passport at 1 p.m. Just woke up. Wow. Long way to travel for a passport, but well done. Gary says, Paul, your chat screen is not showing up. Yes, it is. Gary, I think you've got a problem, mate, because you're in the waiting room, but there's just a white screen. Oh, he's gone now. There you go. He's disappeared. It's his fault. His fault, nobody else's. Stato's in the house. Good evening, Stato. Evening all. No Diaby, then 100% we'll all be in for Paqueta. Let's see. Well, yeah, hopefully. Glenn's lass is laughing her head off. I'm not sure why. What's happened already? Michael says, Paul looks hot and sweaty. Need to invest in aircon. If this global warming thing is actually starting to happen now, best 5K I invested. Very comfortable here in my home office. Well, look at you. Look at you. I've got a desk fan blowing on me, but the problem is when it's this sort of heat, all it does is blow hot air. So, I know a few others who do that as well, who aren't fans. Abs says, if we don't sign any decent forwards, I think we finish bottom. Give our Abs. Give our. Right, let's bring some rabble on. Who have we got in store for us tonight? We got Chippers, Mr. Proudlock. We got the Mountie. We got the King of Qatar. We got Annie. We got Barbara. And we got Gary. Good evening, peeps.
How are we?
Good evening.
Yo.
I think somebody's got YouTube still on in the background.
Not me.
Let me just see who it might be.
Not mine.
It's gone now. I've muted Barbara and the echo is gone. But Barbara, I'll unmute you when you talk. It's just an echo off your speakers. That's all. Don't worry. Right, we'll get straight into it. Chippers, it's a no from Diaby. So where do we go next?
I just get the feeling it's all aligned to Paqueta now. Him saying no, apparently they're dropping their offer for Paqueta. It just seems like some things are happening, and I get the impression that maybe we put a bid in for Diaby and they've turned it down, and then they said we've walked away from it after maybe a bid. But I just think we've got to go for Paqueta now. If it's this cut price that they're offering, I mean, it seems another bargain. I mean, you might as well get him now, but it's. Do we need him now? That's the thing. That's what the owners will be looking at, because they might look and think we need the right wing and striker more importantly, but then someone else might
can play on the right.
So,
I
said that again.
So
I said that again. I got shot down for it. I got shot down for it. But
who shot you down?
I'm not having that either.
You know how
you're not having, Ryan?
Go and see
buy him to be as a right winger.
No, not to be as a right winger, but he can play there. There's a difference. That's what we're saying. So if by all means
he's versatile,
get a right winger,
he's versatile,
yeah.
Hold on,
we have that versatility in Paqueta that he can play there, and it wouldn't be all doom and gloom. But you know what? I don't know. I mean, Roy, what's your thoughts on it? I mean, what did you think of the friendly against Mainz for a start, or both of them actually?
I'm just going to take it with a pinch of salt because we had 2 half teams really. So in the first half, Fraser was on the left, useless, and then you had Almiron who looked a bit lightly.
Mm-hmm.
Second half was the other way around. Though Murphy is absolutely useless. and then Maximin was trying. So I think we can judge it once we have. I think after Benfica game, maybe probably once we see a proper team one. Can't judge it at the moment. Longstaff, I think, wasn't that bad yesterday. A bit. I think he plays better with Joe Linton and Bruno than having Shelby with him. I think we've realised that kind of now.
Yeah, very interesting that he started with the sort of second 11 that came on the pitch, after 60 minutes
from the last game,
Munich. So I thought we looked all right. I thought the possession-wise and the closing down was very, very good. But Pete, Eddie Howe came out and said last night that they haven't been working on the final third. Are you a bit surprised at that?
I am a little bit, because it's something we've been should be doing in training, shouldn't we? Because you could tell it was really lacking in the game. I mean, sometimes crosses when finding the man. They could beat them first man. We'll play loads of long balls and then we're going out with play. Got to get that worked on.
Yeah.
Or we need to look for someone who can get things like that, because I thought Miggy was poor. I thought Fraser was poor in terms of doing that. I mean,
look,
Murphy was the worst one.
Well,
he was the starter.
Murphy was awful, but then again, even Trips was poor yesterday. The goal was a bit of a farce, to be honest. It was a joke, but you know what? I mean, there's people gone way, way over the top on social media about this defeat. It's a pre-season game, midway through pre-season. We've got Burnley behind closed doors. We've still got Benfica, Atalanta, and Bilbao to play. So there's 4 games there. We've still got plenty of time. There's plenty of time left in the transfer window. And let's not forget, the squad that we finished with last season from Christmas was 4th in the league. So let's not. There's blind panic setting in, and I don't see why. It's crazy. Annie, how you doing? How's the old teeth tonight?
It's getting better. It's better than it was 2 weeks ago.
Good.
So yeah, so I'm doing well.
And how's life at Bristol City? Any big news? Danny Simpson re-signed?
Probably not. Not.
What? What in the holy hell was that? Are you on the toilet again, Annie? Annie's disappeared. All I'm seeing is a cartoon character. Never mind. Barbara, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, yeah. I'm going out for the match here on Friday night.
Barbara, your sound quality is as much use as a cow having a shite. It's terrible.
That went right through my ears, that vibration.
Graham and hell, I tell you what.
Do you want that one? Is
wow. I think Barbara needs to invest in something to broadcast a little bit better. That wow. Gary, good evening.
Hi guys, you all right?
How are you doing?
I'm all good, boys. You?
Good. What was your thoughts on the friendlies?
The first one, enjoyed the first one. I've seen a lot of good stuff in that game, but that second one, it was the worst 90 minutes to watch, mate. Honestly, I didn't see much positives in it. I think Elliot Anderson, that was best bit in game, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was only positive.
Yeah, he was very good. I mean, Ryan, what did you think of Elliot Anderson?
I hate to say it, but I only watched 10-20 minutes because at work, so I can't really give an opinion on the game, Paul.
So, in other words, you haven't gone back and watched it as a true fan would, Ryan, is what you're trying to tell us.
Well, the first game, apparently you couldn't, the 1860 game, you can't rewatch it. I've only seen highlights, and I'm not going to really give opinions on highlights.
Fair enough. Roy, did you see the game?
Yeah, I watched both of them.
What did you think
I
of
actually
Anderson
thought
yesterday?
he was probably the only positive in the whole game.
Mm.
I couldn't see there was nothing happening. But to be honest, I think we played better yesterday than the first game.
Yeah.
Overall, take the result away, and overall we look much better.
We were really good. Certain first half, we were shutting down very quickly. We weren't giving Mainz any time on the ball, and Mainz clearly a team who wanted to play out from the back and failed many times because we were just on them so quickly. But the problem was, Billy, wasn't it? It was just we weren't putting our or giving our strikers any options. Well, certainly when Wilson came on, Wood had a couple of chances and didn't take them.
Less said about him, the better, I think. He was about as much use as a chocolate frying pan yesterday. The ball is his enemy. There's no point a professional footballer being not friends with the ball. He couldn't control anything, whether it be a short pass, a long pass, a ball in the air, ball to the ground. Not a chance. Like a dog chasing a balloon. Absolutely no chance. And 2 chances he had, he should at least put them on target. One, he sliced wide, tried to make out it'd come off the defender when it hadn't. Just an awful shot. We looked great for 2/3 of the pitch. The final third, unfortunately, we didn't.
Now, by the way, Mrs. Toon review, everybody has to wave at her or she gets upset. So there you go. Roy, I know you're best pals with Chris Wood. So what did you think of your brother from another mother yesterday?
Shite.
Right. Yeah. Look, he doesn't. I'm sorry, but if we're going to be, we've got to look at players, and we're talking about next season and how we want to play, etc., etc. And you know what? If he's going to be Callum Wilson's replacement, if and when Callum Wilson does get injured, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Completely screwed. I mean, Ryan, you had plenty to say on Chris Wood last season. Have you seen anything that gives you a change of opinion? Do you think, he might be the man to sort of lead the line?
Not a chance. I only was going to...
Who's got YouTube on?
Yeah, no, for me, like for most, Chris Wood just has to be third choice striker. No if, buts, or maybes. I think we could all agree with that as a fan base. I thought for the 6 months he came in, I was like, okay, like he'll be our second choice, but like no more than that going forward. Like we need another striker. Simple as.
Yep, definitely. Peter, Chris Wood.
Not filling me with any confidence again whatsoever. We need another striker in as soon as possible. Because if Wilson gets injured again, which is probably going to be another possibility, Chris Wood's not going to get you the goals. He's not filling anyone with confidence.
No.
We need someone in.
No. I mean, Chippers, it's very quiet on the sign in front anyway, as it is. But, Eddie Howe worried me a little bit yesterday when he made the comment about saying that he hasn't, they haven't focused at all on the final third of the pitch in training. But do you think Howe and Tyndall saw something yesterday that they can learn from and say, wow, everything's going well from the goalie, back four, midfield, but what is happening in the final third, we're just not clinical.
I think we'll know what likes of VSM, Wilson, Bruno, attacking wise, Joe Linton wise can all bring to the team. It's just a case of, I don't know. I don't know. I felt like as if maybe Howe thinks that there's somebody coming in for a certain area and then maybe wait until he comes in and then work on it. Whether something like that was going to happen, whether he might have thought, they may have bid for Diaby without everyone knowing, but obviously it's been turned down and he said he's staying. There's a lot of things that could be it, but like the thing is, there's still a lot of pre-season to go, so it might be a case of you might have like 2 segments of pre-season where the first half it could be about defence, second half like he could be working on the attacking side. We don't know how obviously he operates, so it's just I think the thing is, one thing I'll take from it is we'll look a hell of a lot better than this stage of that season because we're gonna at least kick a football and pass to each other and at least last a good length of time in a game because we pressed a lot yesterday and I felt like. This only the third game in pre-season. I felt like 3 games in pre-season last season. I think they were all knackered after 5 minutes. I mean,
absolutely.
I think that's the thing I can take from it is that the players look a hell of a lot fitter than they were at this stage of last season and like they do this season. So that's for me. Yeah, I was a bit worried by that comments, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There could be something like a transfer happening with nobody knowing. Then who knows? Let's just hopefully no news is good news.
Yeah. Tiger, I don't agree with that comment at all, mate. Who went there? I really don't. We can't say the window's been shite because we've brought in two very, very, very good players in Nick Pope and Sven Botman. So it's not shite. I think the problem is, fans are expecting too much too soon. They're expecting signings and expecting just to sign these top quality players out of the blue. But to quote Mr. Stato, we can't grow a squad out of unhatched eggs. It doesn't work. We've got to be patient. We've got to take our time and bring in the players that, are going to fit the system. It's not just a case of bringing players in. It's a case of fitting the system. And if they don't fit the system, there's no point bringing them in. Annie, I mean, you look at Newcastle from afar, and we all know you've got a soft spot for the Toon. We know you have. And you always keep it. Don't shake your head. You know for a fact I'm right. I mean, are our fans expecting things to happen too soon?
Now you can't just brush every single one of the fans, every single one of the fans on the same brush. You can't do that because fans have different opinions. Yeah. But obviously, yes, you've had half a season where you've had good results.
Yeah.
Not even a whole season, half a season, and now all of a sudden you're expecting to, make the biggest and best signings possible. I don't see how that's going to happen so quickly. And yeah, I agree with you, Paul. That the fans, some fans are probably expecting too much too soon, and maybe this is definitely a process. This is definitely going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. The appointment of the CEO, the director of football, is key into the process, and it's going to take time. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
That's what they're doing. Obviously, they're building foundations for bigger stuff to come. Barbara, we'll try you again. Peter, you might want to remove your headphones, and we'll see what the. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. There's not a loud orchestra rattling drums off our brain cells now.
I changed over to my phone.
Yeah, it's worked. I don't know what were you using before. Some kind of 1950s.
iPad. It was an iPad.
Oh dear. Oh well. What did you think of the friendlies then?
I thought they were all right. They went great. In fairness, it showed us where we're lacking, really, didn't it?
Yeah. The second game, definitely.
Yeah. We have to get a striker for sure.
Well, I think I think everybody on this fan forum, even before we took a summer break from the fan forum, I think everybody said that, the two critical positions for Newcastle were right wing and a striker, and it hasn't been addressed yet. But of course, there's still loads of time in the transfer window. There really is. Michael Marsden, thanks for your $44.99 super chat, buddy. As usual, absolute legend, matey. And we'll see you soon.
Sorry.
Go on.
What frustrates me is why we're waiting so long, because we have to get them in before the start of the season. To get them to address the players,
Well, I think that would be Eddie Howe's perfect scenario, that we did bring players in and get them involved in the pre-season build-up rather than have to wait till the last minute to bring them in. But sometimes, like we've said on many occasions, it doesn't always work that way, and it doesn't always go to plan that way. But like I say, there's plenty of time left, and certainly me as a Newcastle fan, I'm not quite yet panicking. If we play Burnley and Benfica and get thumped, I might have to change my opinion on that and think, right, we do need those players in. But for me, it's not about conceding goals this season. I don't think we'll concede a lot of goals because of who we've got in defence. It's scoring them. So it could be a good thing one end of the pitch, but at the other, we might slip up on getting a few extra points because we're not putting the ball in the back of the net. But if Callum Wilson stays fit, then we've always got a chance. So, by the way, the Fantasy Football League for the Toon Review is up and running now. I forgot to put the pin number on they're on the socials. They're on the Facebook page and Twitter as well. We've had a massive sign up already it's called the Toon Review Championship. It's a very, very took me a long time to work that name out. But We've had a massive sign up already. So do join, because we will be having monthly prizes as well as the final prize for the winner. And I can guarantee that it won't be me, because I am utter dog's bollocks when it comes to fantasy football. But we will be doing a fantasy football show every week, and we'll be bringing a guest on who's participating in the league, whether they're top or bottom, to maybe somebody who's at the top, maybe somebody who's near the bottom at the same time. So us at the bottom can learn from the people at the top about what the hell you do. Because I think I've got a decent squad built up, and then I put the team out, and then I get like 3 points or something, and I'm bottom of the league after the first week, and I never recover. But it is there now, guys. I will try and dig out the link actually if you during the course of the show, and I'll stick it up on the screen.
Premier League website's terrible. Like I log in and it says sorry, error occurred. Fuck off.
That's because it's picking up a French Canadian internet and thinks, ooh, I don't know. Yeah. Tiger this time makes a very good point. We need to move on from Diaby and Paqueta if we can't get him, and go for Corners, Zapata, and Dennis.
I've got a solution, Paul, for right wing.
Okay.
Callum Hudson-Odoi. Go get him.
Yeah, he's been mentioned a few times. Alex has mentioned him on the transfer shows numerous times.
There's no reason for him not to be available. He just rots at Chelsea. And for me, the attack, if we're going to get quality attackers, we can't get the stars like Diaby and like the first team quality. We have to get players from like top teams that don't get games but are good enough and improve our team. Callum Hudson-Odoi will do that.
Well, even if it's not to buy, even if it's to just bring in on loan for a season, he'd be a very, very good signing for me.
Yeah.
Can I just say on the defense, Alex has mentioned this a few times. He's so right. Yep. Most of Newcastle's wins last season were tight margins, 2-1, 1-0s.
They were, yeah,
and not sustainable.
Exactly? Once those tight margins start to go, you start to lose games, and that's never good, is it? So for example, right, this is a championship example. Swansea, they played on tight margins all season, went into the top 2 race, and then dropped out of the playoffs because they lost 6 in a row, 1-0, 1-0, 2-1. It's tight margins are very good if you can score goals. But if you stop scoring goals, you'll start losing games because your defense can't keep clean sheets every single game.
Yeah.
But on the same token, every single manager since the year dart have said build your side from the back, and Eddie Howe's done that.
We've got the foundation now.
We look solid now, so it's time to go and get some offensive players. Not offensive in the Chris Wood sense, offensive as in attacking sense.
Guys, just a little bit of breaking news that it's been reported by numerous outlets actually that Newcastle are investigating if the claims that Leon have slashed their asking price for Paqueta are true. So I have a feeling that we may well be going having a little dig. And why not?
If that's true, I think it'll not take long. It won't take long to get the deal done if that's true, because you want to come.
Yeah,
especially now Arsenal are about to sign Zinchenko, who will go in that role that Paqueta will probably play in as well in midfield.
Yeah, are you surprised about that one, Zinchenko to Arsenal? I mean,
I'm a bit actually.
No, because don't they want that Cucurella from Brighton? So let's just basically get rid of Zinchenko, and then they'll probably sign that Cucurella as a Cucurella respawn.
Yeah, Zinchenko.
Cucurella.
So it'll just be like.
Sorry, that was a pretty terrible.
Well, no, it won't be life for life. As Zinchenko isn't a left back, he's been filling in there for 2 or 3 seasons. He's a midfield player. But yeah, he'll go, and they won't need Paqueta now, will they?
No way.
But I mean,
midfielders now.
Interesting.
Spend so much money.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about. For me, it's all about money. And if we can offer Paqueta something really good, then there is no reason why we can't bring him in. And Billy, you've said all along that Paqueta, if it was between us and the Arsenal, then it would be us that he chooses. Are you still confident of that?
Probably more so than ever now that Zinchenko's gone to Arsenal. Probably more so than ever. He's definitely got a soft spot for us with the Bruno thing. He was in the stands at Southampton watching Bruno score that fantastic goal. He's been on Tyneside a few times. He's ready to come, and I think he will come. I've been saying it all along.
I mean, the thing is as well, Roy, Maxwell Cornet, £17 million release clause. You know, he's a very, very good player, and it's a bargain.
Mhm.
Of course, we don't know what he's going to ask for wages, but for me, it's a really good fee.
I would do it. He's a really good player as well. So yeah, it depends if we get Paqueta or not. So let's see what happens with that one. We'll just get both. Get both.
Yeah, solid. Well, look, if we were going to,
You've got the money.
Yeah, if we were going to spend 60 million quid on, let's say, for Diaby, why not spend, if the rumours are true about Paqueta, 34 million pound, and then 17 million pound on Cornet? Do you know what it is?
47.
Happy days.
Fantastic window.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
That's it. Yeah. Get those two. Close it.
And if we got Cornet too, I'd play him as a right winger. Also, he played with Bruno at Lyon, so maybe Bruno could have some kind of effect persuading him.
And then maybe bring in Emmanuel Dennis as a reserve striker for Wilson, and we're all good.
We need to start well this year. We need to start well this year. The last year was a disaster. We need to get a few wins in. First two, anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, do you know, I just want us to be, you know, a little bit more proactive, if I'm honest, in the transfer window. I think it's a little too quiet at the minute. But then again, on the flip side of that, you know, quiet isn't exactly a bad thing. Yeah. I mean, go on.
To be honest, I think with the Emmanuel Dennis situation, I think Watford will only sell one of Sarr and Dennis. They won't sell both, I don't think. To be honest, I think it'll probably be Dennis, but if a ludicrous offer comes in for Sarr, they'll probably accept it, and you know, if it's above 30 billion, they'll accept it. So if they get an offer for Sarr first, and they sell him, I don't see them selling Dennis. I don't see any reason for them to sell Dennis, because they're historically.
The problem is the two players want to leave. I mean, it's going to be very hard for Watford to hang on to them.
Could we not offer them Dwight Gale in the bargaining? Like, it's a bargaining show that I say we'll give you Dwight Gale if we put money in down. And...
Yeah,
well, apparently there's five other clubs looking at Dwight Gale. You've got Birmingham, Preston, Millwall. Who were the other two? Reading, and there was one other. One of the Championship side.
Not West Brom.
No, they weren't mentioned in the report. Middlesbrough were linked last week, but they've apparently gone quiet on bringing Dwight Gale to Borough. So,
yeah, apparently he's been there, so he's turned it down.
Hey guys, going back to Paqueta for a second, the only minor stumbling block I feel is that the other day, apparently Lyon's current owner wants to sell to some American who's ambitious. He says he wants to compete with PSG. I mean, take that how you want, but maybe some players could see that as BS, and like they'll move on anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Billy, any chance you knock that vibration off your phone?
I'm not going to be phone on, mate.
Whose phone's vibrating?
It's not mine.
It's not Billy's phone.
Yeah,
not me this time. Not me this time.
It might not be a phone.
I'm on total mute. There's no vibration going on here, mate.
Somebody's telling me pork pies.
I'm on my phone, so it's not me straight away.
This is a very interesting comment from Mike Myers. Paul is living in cuckoo land, not thinking we need a striker. What a knacker.
When have you said that, like?
When have I ever said that we don't need a striker?
Just said a few
Mike
minutes
Myers, take your face for a shite, son, because you're the knacker. 100%. Because I've never once said that we don't need a striker. In fact, I've always said we need a striker. So, yeah.
Is that the Mike Myers?
No, well, he's got the horror film. No, he's got the Michael Myers from
Friday
the horror
13.
film. So pretty much, he must wear a mask to hide his face. Geordie Metal, thank you for your £20 super chat. He says, "Can't believe we have kept Lascelles as captain." What's your thoughts?
Oh.
Who should we start with on that one, Peter?
It's very baffling, isn't it? I mean, I think he's going to be down the pecking order again next season. Personally, I think we're two starting centre backs are going to be Shearer and Botman. I thought they were really good as a pairing yesterday, and where's Lascelles going to fit in?
Yeah. Well, look,
squad player.
The thing is, as well, Billy, he was talking about making a point of Federico Fernandez as well, being a very important member of the dressing room. So, you know, we all know that Fed is a better player than Lascelles as well. So if we go off what Eddie Howe's saying, then that puts the Cells 5th in line. It's lunacy.
No. And we can only have 25 in the squad. I mean, to have 5 centre halves is ridiculous.
Yep.
The players can cover there if needs be. So I think Fernandes will go. I'll be honest.
Our squad size is not going to be expanded with the 5 sub rule at all, and like sub benches as well.
No,
same.
To me, it's ridiculous. If you ask me. But
yeah, you made a point of that, Billy, didn't you? A couple of weeks ago. It doesn't seem. It doesn't seem right that they're doing that. It's a bit ridiculous.
You can use 16 players each week as opposed to 14 last season, and yet the squad that you've got to pick from is the same. It makes no sense.
I think if we're going to have a main choice center back to come off the bench for any kind of situation, the game Dan Burn, that's quality depth right there for center back.
Barbara, who do you think will start against Forest? Who the 2 central defenders you think will start?
I'm hoping it's Share and
Botman.
Share, well, Botman is it had to be Botman, don't it? So you have to come in.
Yeah.
Share and Botman, yeah.
Yeah, because we were saying last night, when you've got the opportunity to bring Dan Burn on, I mean, that's not to say Dan Burn's going to be on the bench all season, not far from it. He's going to play a big part as well. But when you've got that, you've either got a Share or, because I think Botman will pretty much be on the team sheet every week, apart from cup games. Right. I think, we can sort of play it along and sort of, we can rotate it that way. But Botman and Share, Roy, looked so compact already, don't they? They look like they've played together for a long time. They just look very astute, both of them.
Yeah, intelligent as well, and carrying the ball forward and picking the pass as well, which Lascelles can't do. So, yep, I'm happy with any of the 3 players to start. So it's just as long as Lascelles doesn't start, happy days.
Yeah, Peter, who would you start?
I think it's going to be Sharon Botman as well. I thought, though, as I mentioned, those 2 were a good centre-back partnership in yesterday's game, and I've got the feeling it's going to be them too.
Fair enough. Are we all of the opinion that that's going to be the case?
Yeah. 100%.
I think, and I want it to be.
Yeah. I just hope that Eddie Howe doesn't sort of surprise anybody and start Lascelles, because I will have a heart attack, I swear to God. I don't think he will, though. Stevie T says, as much as Chris Wood is shite, it must be frustrating for him. We got in so many good positions to cross the ball in, but either cut back or the delivery was appalling. Yeah, I understand that, Stevie, no problem at all. And it was the same for Callum Wilson in the second half. However, Chris Wood got 2 really, really, really good opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net in the first half, and he fluffed them both. And it must be very, if we flip that, it must be very annoying for people that are providing brilliant balls in for him, and he's skying the ball over the bar. I mean, that one's still traveling to the space station that he hit yesterday, and then he fluffed one trying to say it was a corner. So you instantly know he ballsed up by the way he was screaming for a corner, because he thought, well, if it goes for a corner, everybody think it took a deflection.
It fell to his wrong hoof, Paul.
It did, correctly, yes. And I like the way you said hoof, because you're correct. Annie, would you like Chris Wood at Bristol City?
No.
He's thinking about it.
Right. No.
Yes.
To be honest, no. We've got a good striker anyway, so I think we're fine for now.
What about your second, third choice striker? What are they saying?
That is a good point. Actually. We need a striker, but but not Wood. He'll want to start.
Far better out there. Yeah.
Yes.
Says Chris Wood makes for a good brick wall. Spencer says, didn't Callum Wilson himself say we need another striker? I believe he did.
Yes.
And if he's saying that, then Chris Wood would be better off as a Pirates leg, says Glenn. Foxy says positives yesterday, more minutes for all the players against good opposition. Players like Anderson getting a chance to impress, no injuries, weaknesses that Howe will take notice and learn from. Well, I hope he does, Foxy, because that's what we were saying last night. The result doesn't matter. It's what Eddie Howe got out of the game. And that's what preseason's all about. Yes, it's about building fitness up and building the right tactics up and things like that and looking at different things. But it's also identifying where you still need to strengthen. Now, for me, Eddie Howe will have noticed that yesterday. He can't not, because every single person that watched the game was very aware of where we need to improve. There isn't just any doubt about that. But there was a lot of positives yesterday from the game as well. Archer, good evening. That is some quiff going on there tonight, Archer. It's like a little rabbit's tail.
Cow's lick.
It's like Tintin.
How are you doing?
Yes.
Good. Did you watch the friendlies?
I watched the first game. When we won 3-0, but I didn't watch the second game.
The second game was probably a bit difficult for people to watch, given that it was Friday is probably a better day to play because some people just decide to go home early on a Friday or watch it from work or whatever. Monday's a different kettle of fish. Michael says, Ryan, can you watch both preseason games so far on DAZN? Hopefully they have the Benfica game and the final 2-2. They've been showing a lot of preseason stuff. A lot of the...
I unsubscribed to DAZN a while ago. It's too overpriced.
You stingy bastard. Honestly.
I was using it when it first came out. It was good, but it went up in price.
Yeah, it did.
They go take their faces for a shite.
You've got to pay for quality, Ryan.
Anyway, you think we've got problems? You think we've got problems? West Ham are currently 3 down against Rangers.
Wow.
Didn't someone get me off Bradford as well?
Yeah, they beat Dundee United, though. Did anybody see that own goal that Charlie Mulgrew scored for Dundee United?
Hilarious.
From the halfway line. He went to back pass it to the goalkeeper and he curled it round him.
It was mostly the goalkeeper's fault. It was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
I don't know whether anybody else has seen the comments that Sunderland fans are making on social media at the minute. It's like they're going to sort of Phoenix from the Flames kind of stuff. And I'm seeing comments saying, I'd rather be in Sunderland's position than Newcastle's. And I'm like, where and how do you come up with that conclusion? It's absolutely bizarre. Rohan, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Now, Rohan, can I just ask you, are you the Rohan in Australia or are you the Rohan in the UK?
The Rohan Rowan in UK. So
all right. So you're Rowan. The other one in Australia is I don't know. There's Rowans everywhere, Like there's only one Caviani. There's only one French Canadian Room who eats beavers. And there's definitely only one Annie. Chippers is about 5,000 odd of them if you take a look at Amsterdam's red light district. So there's,
or if you go on any adult websites.
How do you know about those, Annie?
You were looking for Bristol Cities online, weren't you? Yes.
He thought Bristol City TV was Channel 900, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Mr. and Mrs. Annie need to take a look what their son is doing on the internet. But then again, you're just coming into fruition, aren't you, Annie? Finding out about life. But please don't talk to Chippers about the birds and the bees because he doesn't know. Rachel says, "Is it even hotter in August?" Well, it normally is, but it's cooling back down tomorrow. I'm saying cooling back down. It's got to be about 23 degrees tomorrow. So that's that's just a nice warmth. That today is like walking into a sauna. It literally is. You walk out the door and you're sweating.
I went into a sauna for the first time today. My God.
I was at work. 48 degrees at work today.
Yeah, I remember you saying on the group chat, Billy. That's good going, that matey. To get through that shift in a 48 degree temperatures.
Oh, I did
incredible.
All day. I did absolutely nothing all day. But I look like I was doing something, which is
of course you did. Yeah, but then again, you wouldn't have to put much effort in, Billy, because you stand in that heat, you're sweating like a moose.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ryan, you seen many sweaty mooses in Canada?
Never encountered one, just deers.
Do you eat moose? I mean, you eat beavers, you may as well eat anything else.
I eat the typical chicken, pork, beef. That's about it.
Dogs, cats, mice, rats.
Okay, I'm not Asian.
Baby
Ooh!
seal.
Ooh!
Annie,
Ooh!
Annie,
Please respond to that. Please respond to that. Do you eat rats and mice, Annie?
Not the last time I checked. So it's a no, Ryan. I don't eat.
Me.
Possible red card.
Absolutely, Ryan Room. Incredible comment to make.
Hey, where's Jerry Springer when you need him?
Roy, would you class yourself as Asian?
Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern.
Well,
But,
no.
yeah, but
When people refer to Asians, they think of like Chinese people.
Which is weird.
yeah,
Ryan.
we
Ryan, stop digging.
I'm done.
At least you didn't say the other word for Chinese people that I nearly said.
Shut up, Billy.
You've caused way more controversy than I ever will.
Who?
You.
What have I said?
Oh, you've said a bunch of stuff like, "Oh, I just caused World War III."
Well, I'll give you that.
I think I did the same with that.
There is a.
We're still digging, lads. We're still digging.
We are. I mean, it is turning into an episode of Jerry Springer. This, but never mind. Henrique says, "Could he be sending a message upstairs? Give me a striker." Do you know what? I heard that comment yesterday saying he's given Wood quite a lot of time on the pitch because he is trying to send a message to the owners saying, "Look at this shite that I've got to put on the pitch here. Help me." You know, and that's the thing for me. You know, it's just sort of thinking, Christ, you know, if this is what I've got to work with. But I would imagine somewhere down the line that, you know, Dan Ashworth is, and to some extent, the new guy, Darren Eales, he will also be involved in maybe trying to bring a striker in, if that's what Eddie Howe has identified. We might be sitting here talking about thinking, oh, you know, we need a right winger or we need a striker, but to Eddie Howe, we might not. So, you know, we don't know. We just don't know. Michael says the fitness levels are massively improved. It is chalk and cheese from last year. Yeah, I mean, Archer, you know, we go for the friendlies last year. We lose to York City. We play Rotherham, Doncaster, Burton, which was a horrendous road trip. But this season's a very different opposition.
Yeah, it's gonna be very different for the like, but we can just basically just go for it because we've got Benfica, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. I think Benfica's a week tonight, isn't it?
I believe it is. Yeah.
Don't know where that's been broadcast on yet, but I would assume it might be on the website again. There will be a watch along, however.
Who we've got after Benfica? Now we've got Bilbao, and now
we've got Burnley on Friday, I think it is, or Saturday behind closed doors, and then we've got Benfica on the Tuesday, and then Friday we're back at home against Atalanta, and then we play Bilbao on the Saturday, and then that's it. And 7 days later, we are back in the Premier League action.
Oh, finally, I'll be there.
Did you just whoop whoop, Billy?
No,
I think we have to have a game started. The game.
I've worked out whose phone's vibrating.
Well, it can't be me.
No, it's not. I know who it is.
It's not me either. Ryan.
Mr. Proudlock.
It's definitely not mine.
Yeah.
I'm cool as a cucumber. I know it's not me.
Peter, you've gone beetroot red. Is it me or is Peter gone plum?
Honestly, it's just the weather's just been horrendous.
How's the new flat, by the way, mate?
Oh, all settled in and everything.
All moved in now?
Yes.
Good. What's it like being independent?
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant.
Different lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I got news this morning that I might be moving house. So look, really moving right next door to Susan, which is incredible. Really hoping that comes off. Annie?
Can I just say that Jeff Hendricks scored for Reading just
again?
Again?
Do you know what?
Wimbledon
We've
scored
lost a
like
talent there,
Friendlies
guys.
level.
We've lost a hell. Do you know what? I'd rather have kept Jeff Hendrick than Chris Wood. To be fair, I would have put Big Jeff. You what?
Decent goals.
Striker Jeff Hendrick. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what it is?
You watch him get 30 goals in the championship this season. For
He played up front. Was it Doncaster away? He played up front in the friendly and he scored. And then he scored that cracking goal against Wolves. I think we've lost a player there. Like I think bring him back, cancel his loan deal, send Chris Wood instead, and then we'll just play Jeff Hendrick up front. We've lost a legend, guys. Leighton says, as amazing as we've done at the end of last season, I don't want us relying on adrenaline and team chemistry to get results. You can't hide quality at the top end for too long. I agree with that as well. Seattle Geordie, thanks for your $10 super chat. He says, good evening all. Here is one for the think tank. By this time next year, where does NUFC have to be for Eddie Howe's job to be safe, or how long for fans getting the pitchforks and torches out? Well, given that we lost a friendly game, if we lose against Forest, then they'll want them out.
It's an excellent question.
Crazy.
It is a good question.
Whole relegation, really, isn't it?
I mean, look, we're all expecting to finish well in the top 10 next season, aren't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think 10th is the lowest point. We can be thinking of.
I think
so. If we get into January, February next year, and we're say, I don't know, 14th, 15th, do you think Eddie Howe's job would be under pressure?
Yeah.
I think
Very
so.
possibly. Very possibly.
Not necessarily from the fans, but maybe from the owners at that point. But
yeah.
Well, I think a lot of fans will be on his back as well. You've seen the outcry that we lost 1-0 to Mainz in a bloody friendly. I mean, if we're stuck in that position... Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not real.
Depends what the fans are like in the stadiums. So...
Yeah, I mean, Simon makes a good point here as well. 7 new signings since the takeover last October is bloody great. So far, nearly spent 160 million. So we have invested a lot of money.
Only one of them has been a forward, though, hasn't it? We definitely need forwards.
Well, if you call them that, Billy, I don't think Chris. I
Not to mention work done in the concourse bit of the ground.
Indeed.
That's to get ready for Chris Wood's shots hitting there later in the season.
Oh dear me!
That'll be if he's on the pitch. That is.
Yeah.
I mean, look. In all honesty, if we didn't sign a striker, right? Would you still say top 10 if we don't get a striker in as it is at the minute, Barbara?
Possibly top 10, yeah, but we won't make top 6 without a striker and a winger. We have to get it started before the Atlanta match. We have to play our first team for that Atlanta match and see how we play together. We haven't played the full team yet.
Well, I think that was a point a lot of people were making, is that the 2 home games, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know which way he'll go, but I think that one of those 2 games, I'm sure he'll want to start his strongest lineup, and then we might get a slight indication of what he's going to do for the Forest game and who's going to get the shout. Now, I'm still convinced Nick Pope's going to start in goal. Has anybody changed their opinion?
No, I think it's going to be Pope as well.
Does anybody think Dubravka could have done better yesterday for that goal?
Yeah, definitely. He should have came for it. He had loads of time to come for it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he was concentrating. I'm not sure he was even concentrating, to be honest.
No, I'm not. I mean, it happened very quickly, didn't it? The free kick, he tried to take it quickly. It ended up going horrendously wrong. And obviously they broke very quickly. But I just think, that's the difference between Dubravka and Nick Pope. And we said that on last night's show as well. Pope is known as a sweeper keeper. He's right on the edge of his box all the time. And he will come out and clear the ball. So he's an extra sweeper, if you like. That's why they're called sweeper keepers. Dubravka is more sort of stay-at-home kind of goalkeeper. So there is a difference there. Had Nick Pope's, been in that position for the goal, maybe he would have been out on the edge of his box and he would have been away and cleared it anyway. But look, it happened. It was a mistake from Trippier. He shouldn't have done that. And then the rest is history. But talking about the concourses, this is what it looks like now. Now, all nicely painted black and white on the walls. The floor's certainly been cleaned up a bit. A lot.
I'll take my comment back, by the way. I don't think Chris could actually hit that.
I agree. And there's another photo. I mean, that looks tremendous. I mean, look, you know, it's just nice to see investment inside the stadium as well. And this is where the fans, I think, don't quite some of them don't quite understand. You know, the whole club from top to bottom has had to be repaired. It's had to have a lot of surgery on it, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. The ground had literally no money spent on it under Mike Ashley. It was falling apart. There was wires coming through the ceilings. You know, the toilets were minging. The floor, the walls had damp all over them. It was awful. And, you know, to see that now, all repainted, and to see that the owners are spending money on the infrastructure as well of the club, you know, because it's not just the players on the pitch. It's the whole thing that was run down to shit by Mike Ashley. And, you know, Chippers, it's going to be a fantastic feeling for everyone going back to see this sort of spruced up stadium again.
Yeah, it just looks more of a welcoming environment to me. I mean, it just looked like, it reminded us of it looked like the inside of a prison. Some of the times you would see it and look at it and you just think it just looked horrible, and it looked like it like as if against just the lack of care and neglect for it, and it looks like now that there's care, and it looks like it's a welcoming place again for fans, rather than this looks damp and dreary. And it's like, yeah, this brightens the atmosphere up a bit, brightens the people up. It might brighten, you know, just little things like that help before you go into the game, you know, to support the team. It might just cheer you up as a person, as opposed to, oh, not this damp and dreary rubbish, and then we're going to watch rubbish football. It starts off well, and then you've got to go and watch good football, hopefully.
I mean, it's great that War Flags are, you know, doing a presentation, obviously, before the home games, the friendlies as well. So it's just going to create that atmosphere for, you know, certainly the new players, you know, Nick Pope and Botman to see it for themselves. And, you know, it's incredible, really, when you look at all the fixtures around the world at the minute. I mean, obviously you get the big crowds in Australia and the United States where some Premier League teams go. But when you look at sort of other sort of regions around Europe and things like that, friendlies don't tend to generate a lot of crowd. But there's going to be over 50,000 at both of these games. And I think, if anything, that will sort of, you know, for Sven Botman and Nick Pope, and they'll go, Jesus, this is a friendly. And just look at the amount of people here. Listen to this atmosphere. You know, what's it going to be like for the first game against Forest if this is a bloody friendly? You know, it's incredible. And I think that's what we kind of hope as fans. I think that, you know, players who are linked with the club and have an opportunity to come to Newcastle will see this, and it will help in bringing them to the club. But only time will tell on that. This Leicester fan says, how about you give us ASM and we give you Perez and Chowdhury?
One word, no.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what you give
100%. Yano says, when you make the statement, we will be challenging within 5 years, then a new contract for Dummett and saying Lascelles has a big future is completely at odds with that, in my opinion. Roy, were you surprised when he came out and said about Lascelles having a big future?
Yeah, it's just talk, really. You can't just say no, he hasn't got a future. But all managers say that. So it's probably part of the dressing room as well. I think Lascelles will probably be here this season, and if he doesn't get any games, then he'll be gone next year.
I mean, listen, people
same with Dummett as well.
Yeah, people know my opinion on it. I think it's to turn around and say, oh, you know, it might upset the chemistry in the dressing room or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, these big managers like Fergie and Mourinho and Wenger, they wouldn't think like that. Or, you know, to an extent, Guardiola as well. You know, if they want to make a decision for the benefit of that football team, they'll make it. You know, and I think sometimes if there's one sort of little thing about Eddie Howe, I think sometimes he's not as cutthroat as he should be sometimes.
In public.
But in public, yeah. Obviously, I mean, I remember having a Bournemouth fan on the channel when Eddie Howe took over, and he did say that Eddie Howe was renowned for keeping things behind closed doors. And look, I don't have a problem with that, and I'm not having to go at Eddie Howe here. All I'm saying is I just maybe like him to show that bit of authority to us as well. You know, his substitutions last season, they were what come under fire a little bit, that he was making the same subs at the same time and not really changing the game. Not that we had the players to do it, by the way, by any stretch of the imagination. But sometimes I think, decisions in football have to be made for different reasons. I mean, Ryan, where do you stand on it?
For me, he probably had some cutthroat decisions like at the highest level in the lower leagues, like when he's battling promotion, like maybe he had to like drop a player or something. I don't know, but I think people are just referring to his time at Bournemouth during the Premier League, and he had all these new players, and he can't really make cutthroat decisions because he might acts like their best player, for example, and it could affect them. But I mean, as the standards are going to grow higher and higher at this club, like, I expect cutthroat decisions to happen.
I mean, the other one's Matt Rich, isn't it? I mean, Matt Rich's half an hour yesterday was some of the worst half hours football I've seen from a Newcastle United player. The man's legs have gone. He's not got a specific position he can play in.
I saw he's playing left back. I just shook my head. Like, what? I know it's preseason, but come on.
Him and Dummett at left back is just like, it's a non-starter for me. Really.
Jamal Lewis better be fit because I want him as backup. Not
well. Jamal Lewis is Eddie Howe confirmed he's injured at the minute, but again, we don't know what's going to happen with Jamal Lewis, because I remember at the end of last season, Eddie Howe in an interview said that he was going to give Jamal Lewis a big opportunity in pre-season. He's seen a lot from him and wants to give him the opportunity, but it hasn't happened because he's injured. So that may well completely dismantle Jamal Lewis's chances. Now, it was strange for me that he brought Dummett off and he put Matt Ritchie left back yesterday. If he's going to put anybody left back again, put Matt Targett there, because Matt Ritchie is not going to play a big role at left back for Newcastle United this season. I found it a pointless exercise, and he got found out. When in the second half, he let the player just wander into the box and cut the ball back, and then obviously it was eventually blocked by Botman. But a very, very poor performance. And Matt Ritchie now, for me, he's been a fantastic servant in Newcastle. Not going to take that away from him. He's been an absolute... the passion he's shown for the club, when he's been on the pitch, he's given 110% every game. You just... the effort and everything else is there, but I think the time has come for Matt Ritchie to possibly move on. Now, had Bournemouth stayed in the Championship this season, I probably would have said that would be the ideal return for him to finish a career at Bournemouth. Or whether he's got any coaching aspirations. Maybe he has. Maybe Eddie Howe will help him through the coaching badges and he becomes part of the coaching staff. I don't know. But player-wise, in the Premier League, it's a massive risk.
I mean, you've only got a 25-man squad. You can't seriously have 2 or 3 players in the squad because they're good at organising parties or they're popular amongst the squad.
You can't afford left backs in the squad.
You can't have passengers. You can't afford passengers in a 25-man squad. And it sounds like we're going to have at least 2. So I'm quite perturbed.
What do you think is going to happen with Manquillo? Because I mean, he's behind.
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it?
And then we've got 3/4 left backs if you class. I mean, I don't think Ritchie will be in the squad because I think we'd be pretty stupid. I'm not having against Ritchie, but like in terms of quality, he's not going to be ahead of the players we have. And I don't know if Manquillo is going to get in the squad, but I think he would be one of the players who will be easier to get rid of because he'll have more interest and because he can still play at an okay level.
I think Dan Burn will be the reserve left back, if I'm honest.
Yeah, Dan Burn can play there as well, can't he? So it just seems very strange. It was a very strange decision yesterday, but whether it was to get minutes in the tank, I don't know. But guys, the link for the fantasy football is pinned now at the top of the live comments. So if you want to take part in the Toon Review Championship Fantasy Football, which, like I said earlier on, we'll be doing a weekly show, the link is now pinned at the top of the comments. Click on that, and it'll take you through to the Premier League Fantasy Football. Create your team, and away you go. The pin number is already built into the link to join the league, so it should be straightforward. Rachel says, "I'll give you a run for your money for bottom this season, Paul." We'll see, Rachel. You'll probably finish way above me. Hennick says we need a left back with good attacking mentality.
Matt Targett
can definitely offer that.
Yeah,
Matt Targett hasn't really had a chance.
and a fit Lewis as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like I said,
full
like
backs
Billy
and
says
Eastern
as well, they've
Rories.
got Dan Burn who can cover there as well. So I don't see it. And certainly Matt Targett pushes forward. There's no doubt about that. I do think he needs to improve his crossing, though. That's something I do think he needs to improve, but that'll come without a doubt. So there you go. If we have the same squad in 4 to 5 weeks' time, then I'll start to flap. But right now, I'm not panicking. We still have loads of time. Dominic says, do you feel fans are not asking for the world, but maybe expected a striker and right wing signed before answering the defence? At the end of the season, our defence has drastically improved thanks to Eddie Howe. V also agrees about Callum Hudson-Odoi. Think he'd be a top signing.
Thank you.
Well, you're right. I mean, even Alex said it a couple of weeks ago that he would be an absolutely fantastic signing, certainly on loan. I can't see Chelsea selling him, but on the flip side of that, I don't think that Hudson-Odoi is the kind of player that Thomas Tuchel likes. I generally don't.
And yet he keeps signing winger after winger after winger after winger, doesn't he? Chelsea's into a monopoly on
you think with Sterling, you think with Sterling being bought, that's him down the pecking order. And then I saw he's playing right wing back again for Chelsea with their 5 at the back, 3, whatever they do. So this guy wants to like nourish his talents and be good at what he's doing, rather than being put out of position and get game time. Why not sign him? There's no reason for him not to be available.
Yep,
especially on loan.
Yeah, Chelsea would look to loan him, I think, because it'll increase his value if it does well, but they won't sell him this window.
I mean, look, a loan to buy option would be certainly a good move for Newcastle, I think.
Maybe a deadline day loan.
Yeah, possibly. Look, I think a lot's going down to deadline. Go on, Barbara.
We don't want to wait for the deadline. We don't wait too late. We need to get it off a good start. If we get beaten against Forest, that's one of how it lives. Supporters against Howe as well. Like we don't be Forest. Like and Forest have got a lot of new players in. They did bought about 8 new players. Forest.
The thing is, they'll be coming up very, very confident. There's no doubt about that. So we've got to be on our game from the word go. But we always have to be. Mark says Zapata will be visiting us with Atalanta next week. Yes, he will. Intriguing if he plays or not. But of course, if he doesn't play, then all the rumor mill is just going to take right off again, isn't it? Yeah. Chris says ASM is very good, but there is always room for improvement. What have you made of ASM, Roy, during the friendlies?
Yesterday was just a normal ASM. He actually passed the ball a bit more than usual, but no intro. He played a nice ball to Shelby, who smacked it like a tier 7. It was just the normal, and we didn't see him. It was a half an hour. That's it. He was. It was good in the first game as well.
Combined with Roy. Do you know who I think he combined with very well? Elliot Anderson.
Yeah.
I thought he had a very good understanding with Anderson, and Anderson kind of, he was always on hand there when more than one player descended on Maxi. He made himself available a lot of times, and what I liked about him was he wasn't frightened to have a shot, and yes, the shot he hit from outside the box, it wasn't really hit with any conviction straight at the goalkeeper, but he wasn't afraid to take it on. And there was at one stage he took 2 players on. I can't remember. It was in the first half. He beat 2 players brilliantly. He won the ball back and then beat 2 men. And I just thought, wow, this guy is confident. For such a,
he's good.
For a kid, he's really pushing for a place in this squad. And I think he's probably seen all the rumors going around about saying, Elliot Anderson out on loan, XYZ, and he's thinking, hang on a minute, I want to be involved at Newcastle United.
He's done more than Longstaff.
I'd agree. So, I thought Sean had a decent game on Friday, but I thought he was anonymous yesterday. He wasn't.
I think Anderson would really benefit from a loan in the Championship. Just my thing, just how I think. The way you described him yesterday on the transfer show, and he was very, very direct. And what I think about that is Premier League quality managers and Premier League quality teams would be quite easy to neutralise in if that's his main asset. Obviously, he can do other things. That's great. But if that's his main thing, he'll probably benefit from a move to Championship or maybe League One, somewhere else, just to get more game time and, you know, guaranteed game time and starts and stuff like that. So personally, just
what club in the Championship, Annie, do you think he would be good for?
Now,
and
well,
you can't name yourselves.
No, I'm not going to. Well, Coventry were mentioned quite a lot, but the problem with Coventry is they've got Callum O'Hare, who's a brilliant player.
Might not be soon.
Millwall
on his way out, can't he, to Burnley by all accounts?
Well, yeah, but they've had bids rejected, so I'm not sure. If O'Hare leaves, then that's well, he'd probably go. Millwall were mentioned as well, but they've signed George Honeyman, who's a great player, play a similar position.
George Honeyman, he's fucking
devour Annie.
No, he's
Dirty Markham, Dirty Monkey Markham.
They can have Richie then.
He's actually a really good player.
He's actually really not, Annie, but carry on.
No, I don't know.
And please,
maybe
never, ever,
Blackburn.
ever. I'm going to have to interrupt you again before you finish your point, Annie. But please, never, ever, ever on this channel talk about present or ex-Sunderland players as being very good, because they're all shite.
Well, he played for Hull.
You're talking about teams getting relegated from the Championship, so I think that's like sort of Bristol City's level, isn't it?
He played for Hull and he was very good. He's very good at Hull. Okay, we've got to be balanced, all right? We've got to be balanced. We've got to be impartial. We've got to be impartial. He was a pivot. He played a pivotal part in them staying up.
Get the speed.
Another team is Blackburn. They've lost Joe Rothwell, who's their best midfielder.
Actually, yeah, Blackburn would be a good shout. Yeah,
yeah. And Blackburn under John Thomason could be a perfect fit for Anderson. Could be a perfect fit for him.
And of course, there's ex-Newcastle links with Thomason, so interesting.
Possible similarity in the way they play as well, Thomason and Anderson.
Well, yeah, once he left Newcastle, Billy, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not forwards, obviously. He was plonked up front like a spare prick at a wedding, but yeah, he was never a striker, was he?
A spare prick at a wedding? What the feck is one of them?
I don't know where they come from either.
You've come out with some class tonight, Billy. A dog chasing a balloon? I mean, I don't know about you. I just quality comments again from the Encyclopedia of Football.
Or if Eddie Howe is really like wedded to his philosophy, a move to Swansea is absolutely like just a banker, because they play possession football. They pass like 10 balls a second. They are so possession heavy. So yeah, Swansea as well.
I don't like Swansea Stadium. It just looks like it's made out of it just looks like Stonehenge. You know, wherever you look, there's like brick walls everywhere. It's like, really? It looks half finished.
Right, Paul, I've got to go, by the way, mate. So I'll catch you.
All right, matey. Catch you next week, buddy. Take care.
See you, Annie.
I don't know if I'll be on next week because I'll be holiday.
Oh, actually, I'll be on a watch along probably. So, what time's kickoff in Benfica? Does anybody know? Is it a nighttime or daytime game?
3 o'clock for me.
No, it's a nighttime for us.
Maybe 7 o'clock tonight, then, is it? Maybe 7 o'clock.
Right, take care, Annie.
8 p.m.
Right,
8 p.m. kickoff.
8 p.m.
10 p.m. Yeah.
Oh, well, it'll be a watch along. Could do a fan forum at 7 and do a build-up fan forum to the game, couldn't we? So we'll sort something out. Hazard says, will you do a fantasy video before the season starts, maybe to look at some people's teams, or are you waiting till the start of the season? No, we will be doing we'll look at some people's teams and, you know, cry with envy, thinking, how the hell have you got all those players in? Mind you, I must admit, when I was doing my fantasy team today, I did notice some of the players that I expected to be a lot more expensive weren't. Sven Botman's 4.5 million is a bargain. You want Chippers?
I was going to say he's 4.5, and I'm thinking he's one of the most best centre backs with potential. And it's like,
million is a bargain as well.
I know, but you got to be careful because you can only play 3 from one club, can't you? So you got to be careful. I had to get Bruno in because Bruno's going to be one of the best players.
Bruno and Botman. I had to get Bruno and Botman in the spine.
Well, I've got Bruno, Botman, and Wilson. So
I think I have as well.
I got Haaland in. I got Salah in.
Yeah, I'll
probably
put Salah
in midfield. put Salah in the midfield, which I found weird.
Yeah.
I've got Son in as well.
I didn't get Son in. I've
that's a good
I've
pick.
gone for
Luis
Jesus up front as
Diaz
well.
is a good price, I think, like 8
Yeah.
million.
There was some
Yeah.
different prices this year because normally you look at the sort of bigger players and you think, Jesus Christ. You look at the price of them and you think, how am I going to get a decent team together for 100 million? But do you know, I'll say that now, and then 3 weeks into the season, I'll be screaming on the fantasy football show because I'll be bottom. Me and Rachel will be there, stuck at the bottom with like no points, and everyone else will already be on 50 odd, and we'll be getting left behind like a donkey in a horse race. It'll be incredible.
I'm going to keep my powder dry until the week before the season starts and let a few more signings come in and just get them into the thing.
Well, you can always change it though, Billy.
You can change it, yeah.
You can sort of. I think
An hour
you get.
before.
But you get free transfers up until a certain point, and then your squad's in there, and you can only make a certain amount of ins and outs after that. So, but it's a good point because there will be players still to sign, who will come in. But I think I've got Van Dijk in as well. So you know what, it's not too bad, But we'll go through our teams when we do the fantasy show.
You start off with 100 million or something, yeah?
It's 100 million budget, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to kind of sort of you're going to have a couple of superstars in there, and then you've got to sort of build the rest of the squad up, haven't you? You can't. It's impossible to get a squad of superstars. You just can't do anything about it.
How much was Chris Wood, by the way?
I don't think he's on there, Billy.
$500,000.
Is he a free transfer?
I think because I think you know, when you select a player, it obviously puts them on the pitch in the strip, and I think if you select Chris Wood, a tractor comes up. Michael says Arsenal, once Zinchenko is confirmed, will have a net spend of 120 million or so. I can't believe they'll be prepared to spend 40 to 50 million or more on Paqueta. They might do. But I'm with Billy on this, to be honest. I think if Paqueta's got a choice in Newcastle or Arsenal, he joins us, and that's not being big-headed or anything. That's just with the situation with Bruno being there, the project Newcastle have got, you know, the legend status that some of these players can actually have at the club will be immense, absolutely immense. If these players win something for this club, they will be known as gods, absolute gods. But you know, listen, if those reports are right, 34 million for Paqueta is an absolute bargain. We have to be in for him. I'd be very surprised if we're not.
I'd be upset if we don't get him at that.
You what, Barbara?
I'd be upset if we don't get him and he's gone for 24 million.
I think a lot of Newcastle fans will be, yeah, definitely. Vitamin says someone has their phone on vibrate and it's loud enough. Well, we've addressed it and it hasn't happened in a good while. Somebody was still telling me Porky's earlier on, though. Disgrace. I feel like an episode of Vera coming along. You know, the Toon Review Vera edition. Whose phone was it? Who is the killer mobile?
We get Dick Van Dyke to do Dinotus Murder or Perry Mason.
Dick Van Dyke
didn't realise
he's in Paul's team. We can leave him out of it.
No, he is playing centre back.
He is indeed. Chris says, Paul, what about loan to buy for Hudson-Odoi? He's not wanted at Chelsea. He needs games, and he has an eye for goal. I completely agree. I agree with Ryan. I think it would be a good acquisition without a shadow of a doubt. But we just have to wait because we don't know. Nobody knows who Newcastle are looking at. Nobody does. It's just things are going to happen out of the blue. It's going to be one of those things again where suddenly news develops that an agreement has been made with a club for a certain player and they're due for a medical. It'll happen that quick.
That's why
that's what happened with them, apart from Botman, which dragged on for years. But that was Bruno happened very quickly.
Yeah.
Bruno was hilarious because obviously Arsenal fans were putting him in an Arsenal strip, and then suddenly he signed for us. Even Arsenal. So yeah, and wouldn't it be amazing if it happened twice? If they're going, oh, we're going to get Paqueta. What's the sort of morale like out in Qatar and out in the Middle East, Roy, about Newcastle United's chances this season? Or, you know, the Newcastle, obviously, I know there's quite a big fan base out there, especially, you know, You got yourself in the the Qatar branch of the fans and
Doha Mags, yeah.
The Doha Mags. What's the feeling like?
Everyone's excited. We think we'll finish in the top half. At the same time, everyone's happy Ashley's gone. So we're not worried about relegation anymore. Shitting ourselves for 6 months every year. So we're happy. It's the same. Everybody's talking about a right winger at the moment. Paqueta as well, and another striker. So it's exactly the same. We're still waiting. Everyone checks Twitter for news in the UK, and people in the UK are checking for news in the Middle East. Nobody's got any proper news anyway. No one knows anything.
No.
Same
Funny
thing.
point by Liam, actually. I think we're working behind the scenes. I've had to come off Newcastle United Twitter for all of the 12-year-old fans tweeting players and owners. We will be fine. We can get things across the line. Liam, they're not 12-year-olds. They're grown men. They are grown men tagging the owners. They are grown men saying people are coming for medicals or we're signing XYZ. These are grown men, not 12-year-olds. And that's what develops into pandemonium with the fans thinking, oh, he's supposed to be coming, he's supposed to be coming. And it's nobody knows.
Yeah, and the flight tracking.
Sorry, mate?
Flight tracking as well.
An
airplane just landed.
Honestly, 1 minute past midnight when the transfer window opened, there's a flight coming in from France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the player
Right.
their player put their house for sale.
Yeah. Or somebody's kids are signing up at a school.
For the school. I know who that was. Yeah.
That reaches too far for me.
Ridiculous, man. Honestly, I just wish they'd just sort of, fair enough, tweet about being excited about certain Newcastle players coming in or the possibility of them coming in. Just talk about the possibility like we do. But don't say you're coming in for a medical because you end up looking like a dork. Just because they could actually be coming in for a medical, but the next day they've changed their mind for some reason.
Just put an alarm emoji on any tweet and you'll get retweets, likes. Like, it just glues to people's minds like a huge dopamine release.
Look, I mean, that video I did this morning based on Diaby, but it also contained obviously what Eddie Howard said about the final third not being sort of focused on yet, and it also spoke about Dwight Gill and the 5 clubs that were interested in him, because I read a report that said that Diaby would be open to come to Newcastle, so I did a video on it, but not once did I say he's coming.
He is.
What I did say was there was a report saying if Bayer Leverkusen do decide to sell him and Newcastle United do agree to a price, then that report that I read this morning from Ben Jacobs, who isn't going to, we've all got our opinion on Ben Jacobs, but he's not going to put out there that he's not, the player himself wouldn't be interested in a move. That's all it is. He'd be interested if Leverkusen decided to sell and if Newcastle met the negotiated price. So you just do a video on that. That's not saying the player's coming. It's just giving the people news about what could possibly be taking place. And then, of course, Diaby's gone and made a statement tonight saying that he's happy playing for Leverkusen next season. It happens that quick in football. It really does. It's. Simon Rudd says, "What on earth is Peter wearing?"
It's because of roses.
Peter's big into his heavy metal, guys, and as you can see, he's been wrestling a bear tonight before he come on here. But listen, we went to Leicester last season, Pete, and we had the rock tunes bouncing. I don't think Adam Pearson decided to stick his headphones in because he couldn't cope with the music that me, Archer, and Peter were actually headbanging to at one stage in the car. I think the Leicester fans thought we were absolutely mental when they were overtaking us because the car was just...
I know,
with knee hair.
With knee hair, exactly. But it was a good laugh. And obviously Newcastle United ruined it that day because they were god-awful. But it was a good day out. Wilson healthy works better than most strikers available, says Henrique.
Yeah.
Look, if he stays fit, guys, he plays a big part. I mean, Rohan, I mean, a fit Callum Wilson, for me, is as good as anybody in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Or he's up there anyway.
Yeah, you'd only say there's Haaland, Kane. I'm trying to think of strikers.
Ronaldo.
That's if he's there. There's not many strikers that are like in the Premier League that come across, oh, they're the elite. There's always so I think Callum Wilson could be like the best of outside the top, like the 3 strikers.
Yeah.
So I think he can get 15 goals. I mean, he got 12 goals this the season before last season in 26 games, and we were absolutely rubbish. So if he can play 30 games, start 30 games, I think he can easily get 15 goals. But the issue, we just got to make sure we have a constant creativity instead of just relying on Maxi to create for him. That's why I would always sign a winger before a striker, because Wilson's fit as of now, so we should go for a winger and then a striker towards the end of the window, I'd say.
Yeah.
I hope I don't see ASM triple marked, like, or 4-man marked anymore, because that just means that all our threat comes from him. Or from that side.
It's interesting, but look, all I want to see is for those wide players, you know, like the likes of ASM, like, you know, practice. You know, if that's what they need to do, stay back after training and practice crossing the ball. Some of those crosses against Mainz were absolutely shocking, by the way. You know, again, what we've witnessed for years and years is that they're not getting beating the first man, etc. But for me, I mean, I was really surprised at the negativity on Twitter, because I thought, well, I was and I wasn't, but I thought I was really impressed with the pressing, the pace that we played with, certainly with that starting 11.
Yeah.
And yes, I'd like to see Matty Target in there in that side. I'd like to see Maxi and obviously Callum Wilson as well, because I think we've genuinely got a very, very strong 11. But it's putting the ball in the back of the net that counts. Now,
here's a question. On pre-season games alone, what we've seen 2 live, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Who starts at right back?
Trippier.
I still think Trippier.
Besides that mistake, but Kraft is good as well.
Do you know what? Emil Kraft has been brilliant. The 2 games in Austria, he's been really good.
He's come a long way.
Everybody's been criticizing him for not getting forward and being able to put the ball in. He's doing it now. He's getting forward. He's taking players on. He's supporting the winger. And he set up a brilliant ball for Joe Willock yesterday, who, you know, mishit the ball in the end. Yeah. But he was outstanding. I do think it'll be Trippier though, because obviously they're not going to bring him to the club and sit him on his arse. But I think it's fantastic that we've got someone like Emil Kraft, who I think will play a lot next season. Don't get me wrong. I think he'll certainly play cup games, and I think he'll be there should anything happen to Trippier injury-wise, or Trippier has a downturn in form. I think we've got to, but that's what we've been saying. We want to see like-for-like replacements, really, just quality coming on for quality instead of, you know, having to put, you know,
and the World
Murphy coming on all the time, you know.
Say, for instance, we haven't got a right-sided forward or right winger for the Man City game. Do you play Trippier there and Kraft behind him? That's a question.
No. That's
for the Man City game.
Better than Miggy, I guess. So
yeah,
and you know what? Honestly, I'd drop ASM for a game against Man City, or I'd play him centrally, because someone's got to be on the top of the game to stop Joao Cancelo.
Yeah, look, I mean, we'll talk about the setups closer to the games. I think you're right, though. It's very interesting to see what Eddie Howe will do. Will he just play the straight 4-3-3 every game, or will he decide to mix it up a little bit because he'll have a few more options? I don't know.
I like to see
that's what he's paid the big bucks for.
I like to say 3 at the back as like a backup plan if we're down 2-0 to certain teams. Because you can't, if you're 2-0 down at halftime or whatever, you got to change it up. Formation, personality. You got to do something. The most logical thing for me is you take off one of your defenders.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why Eddie Howe is paid the big bucks. But that's it for the fan forum tonight, guys. What I'm going to do is, because obviously the fan forum, if we can't get on earlier next week,
Wednesday.
we'll probably do it Wednesday, the fan forum, but we shall see. So I will ask you. I'm not going to ask you for predictions for the Burnley game because it's pointless. It's behind closed doors and it's irrelevant. But the Benfica game for me is going to be a big test, and I think Eddie Howe might just put a very, very strong looking side out and not make 11 changes like he does. I think it'll be a more of a, I don't know, more competitive, I think, but we'll see. Rowan, give me a score
for the Benfica game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll go strong in that game because obviously Burnley will probably just be a training game, really. So I think it'll be a tough test. I think 2-2, I'd say.
2-2. Okay, and do you think we'll make a signing before we go to Portugal?
No, I can't see it happening before then.
No. Right. Well, we'll see if you're right. But get yourself back on next week, Rowan.
Yeah, we'll do.
And
See you later.
It's 8:30 start, mate. Just remember that.
Sorry, my room was like it's got down to a temperature where I can actually like sit down.
I'll let you off on that one.
I
Yeah,
mean,
good
it's
point.
like it was literally 40 degrees in my room before, so I just.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. See you next week, buddy. Take care.
See you later, lads.
See you, Rowan.
Right, Maverick.
I'm gonna go for a Newcastle win. Newcastle 3, Benfica 1.
3-1. And do you think we'll make a signing before we play that game?
Obviously, got to be. I'm going for Paqueta.
Oh, I hope you're right, man. I'll tell you what. I think Roy, the King of Qatar, has said if we sign Paqueta before we take on Benfica, he's going to do the next fan forum naked. So, ladies, just pray that we make Paqueta comes in before that game, and you'll get to see,
a naked Persian.
Oh Jesus!
Roy and his toy
right.
boy.
What?
Roy and his boy toy.
Boy toy. Yeah. Archer, thanks for coming on, buddy. See you next week.
See you, Archer.
Barbara, prediction.
Yes. I think it was going to be a tough game, and we're not banging in the goals left, right, and centre. So I'll say about 2-1.
2-1, but it's a win again.
Yeah, because we're playing at home. We have our 12th man there. We're going to have a good support.
No, we're in Benfica.
How are we? Okay.
It's in Portugal. It's at the proper stadium of light, Barbara.
We still win 2-1.
There you go.
How many fans are going to that game?
I think there's still tickets available. I think, but there'll be a few. Well,
I want to ask something, Paul. Did you ever hear about a hotel called the Sleepers Hotel in Newcastle?
The what?
Sleepers.
It's L-E-P-E-R-Z.
Sleepers.
Must be in the city centre.
Nah, I can't say I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm going there anyway for the week. I'm going for the Atlanta game.
All right.
So that's where I'll be. So that's what we say.
Coolio.
I'll be there Friday, Thursday and Friday night.
Well, we'll all be up around the club shop before kickoff anyway. So if you want to come and say hello, we'll be there.
Will you be going for a pint somewhere?
Well, I don't drink a lot, which is why that I have to say that that brown ale. I don't know whether it was the heat, but it blew my sodden head off. And I thought I would sleep well last night, and it turns out I was still awake at 4 o'clock this morning, melting. I was also worried about the dog because I had a little fan on the floor, and she didn't move from in front of that fan all night. But I was obviously worried about her. She's currently got her head in the freezer at the minute. So, but thank you for coming on, Barbara, and we'll see you soon.
Please God, see you there.
Good night.
Good night.
Right, Peter.
I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. I believe it'll be an entertaining game, I would say. But
do you know what it is? You're right. I think it's going to be the toughest game so far of the preseason.
Oh, yes,
without a shadow of a doubt. Mind you, Benfica is still absolutely overjoyed at the money. Did you see what the owner quoted about the sale of
Nunez?
Nunez.
Yeah.
he said something about it being, he was expecting to get like 35, 40 million. And then he said, oh, we'll try and put it up a little bit to sort of 60 million. Liverpool came back with 60 and this is, oh, let's push it up to like 85. And they came back with 85. He couldn't freaking believe it. And let's just say he hasn't had the greatest start, has he, in the friendlies? My God.
Yeah, he's looked a bit Chris Woodish, hasn't he, in the past 2 friendlies I've seen?
Oh, Christ. Chris Woods looked like Ronaldo compared to him.
I've heard people call him the Uruguayan Andy Carroll. I thought it was hilarious.
The Liverpool fans, let's just say, are reserving judgment right now. They really are. Can you see us making a signing before Benfica, Pete?
Oh, I don't think it'll be before Benfica.
No?
I think...
Yeah, I think it'll be. Listen, I think this, we're possibly looking at the build up to the Premier League kickoff or even after for us to get players in. But time will tell. But thanks for coming on, Pete.
No problem. Catch you later.
Take it easy, man.
See you,
Chippers.
And I'll go for 1-1 draw. Because I think if you've been working on the defensive side, you'll not want to concede as many goals. And I think we'll make one.
Yeah. Fair enough. And do you think we'll make a signing?
I think we'll be looking towards the 2 home friendly games to be trying to make a signing for them so that we can see them in the home games. So I think probably for the 2 home games on the Friday and the Saturday.
Yeah, cool. Right. Thanks for coming on, man. Take care. See you soon.
Yep.
See you, Chippers.
Good night. Ryan.
I want to go 3-2 Benfica.
Oh. Do you know this better not be a sign of things to come for you, my man? Because remember the fan forum are doing a little mini league of predictions, and you're not turning into Annie and predicting Newcastle lose every bloody game.
No, I'm not. I just think it's just what I think. To be honest, I feel like it'll be a high-scoring game. I'm not going to think too much about it because it's just preseason.
Yeah, look, I think you're right. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think it'll be quite competitive, actually. I was very surprised how competitive the Mainz game was, but I think Newcastle got a bit fed up with the late challenges that they were putting in on us. To be fair, says Benfica will destroy us. I had high hopes for the new management, but total letdown.
Come on,
it's them sort of comments, which
hyperbole.
Wow, I mean, Jesus. Status is predicting a loss in pre-season, and you wanted to watch the game with me. Yeah, I know you used to watch the game on Discord, don't you? So, I don't think he's happy that you're predicting a defeat,
I haven't
right?
been able to watch a game with him since Burnley. No, before that, I don't know, something before Arsenal. I forgot what game it was, but yeah,
Liverpool probably, was it?
Might have been, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and what about a signing? Do you think we'll make one?
I think next week we may potentially get one.
Ooh. Well, I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks for coming on, Ryan, and we'll catch you next week, buddy.
Yeah.
See you, mate.
See you, mate.
And it's finally down to the King of Qatar.
I think 1-0. We're going to win 1-0.
Ooh, clean sheet.
If he uses the back 4 that he bought.
I'll tell you what, I had a couple of them, Billy, this morning after that brown ale, mate.
Yeah, I think he should start with his best 11, which is the new back 4 and Pope.
Yeah.
With Wilson, basically the best 11 he's got, at least for the first half an hour. Have a clean sheet there, protect the players, and take them off. It doesn't matter what happens in the last half an hour.
I'm not mistaken. Benfica are Portuguese champions, aren't they? So it's going to be a firm test.
No, I thought Porto, wasn't it? Porto.
Or did Porto win it last year?
Porto won the league.
They're in the Champions League anyway, so
they are.
We'll
Yeah,
be in the Champions League next season, so it'll be interesting. Status is still unbeaten when I'm at St James's. We've got to save my good luck for important league games. Benfica hammered Fulham 5-1. Beat Nice comfortably as well. Champions League qualifier for them soon, so they will be ahead of us in terms of fitness. He's going 4-2 Benfica. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously,
Ryan might be right
further ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do know they're in the Champions League, but because they've got to play a qualifier, I guess they didn't win the Portuguese league. So I can't remember. I think it might have been Porto. I think it was.
It was, yeah, because the Porto's got Taremi, who's Iranian.
Yes, yeah.
He's the only good Iranian footballer in the world.
You never know. You might surprise us at the World Cup, right?
We've got one Iranian playing for us, haven't we, in the back? Shah.
Yeah, England, Iran, yeah. First game.
Shah at the back for us. He's Iranian when he was about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about there. I'm too young for you two.
He's the king.
In Persian, yeah. Like a Persian rug, which is what Roy's got on the
Persian carpet, which everyone's going to see if we sign. Okay, next week.
No.
I hope it's not flying.
Oh God.
I'll shave it off, man.
Jules says, have you got that invite yet, Paul? No, I haven't. I said I expected an email coming through from Roy saying, Paul, I've got you a ticket for a World Cup game.
You know what's happened? We've been told now at work we need to take a holiday. It has to be before September because all the borders are going to close and you can't come in unless you got fan ID, and you can't get fan ID unless you got a ticket. Yeah. So I'm going to go for a little trip in August and that's it, and I'm stuck here till January.
Wow, bloody hell!
But you're most welcome to come after, unless you get a ticket.
Hey, listen, I would love to do a live show from your castle. That would be tremendous, Roy. Doesn't matter if the World Cup's on or not. Doing a live show from Qatar in Roy's palace. That just sounds perfect.
Did a World Tour? Turkey, Qatar,
Qatar. Yeah, we'll
Bahamas, Seychelles.
Well,
yeah,
I'm going to the.
That's yours.
All right.
That's your wish.
I'm going to the. On 11th of August is the opening of Lusail Stadium, which is the main. We'll have the World Cup final in.
Yeah.
So I'll report from there and take Newcastle flag and stuff.
Definitely. Right. Thanks for coming on, matey. We'll see you next week for
Cheers,
the forum.
mate. And we're not going to sign anyone.
All right. Okay.
I don't think we will.
Thanks for that. Absolute real motivational speech before you disappear.
Well, if we do, I'll do the naked dance. We'll see.
Yeah. Susan says a big Toon review tour bus. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. You just see that. Big tour bus rocking up to different countries across Europe. Right. Thanks for coming on, Roy. Take care out there. We'll see you soon, buddy.
See you, Roy.
See you guys.
Good night. So there you go, guys. That was the fan forum. We will be back for another live show on Thursday night. As usual, there may be a video tomorrow with some more news. I'm going to try and keep the update videos coming along because a lot of people seem to enjoy them, even if they're only sort of 5 to 7 minutes long, just giving a quick update of any news at the club. But we will be back on Thursday night with a look at some transfers again. Yes, Billy?
Just want to give a shout out to our mods. They obviously
absolutely
on other people's channels, and tonight they had a unfair and quite nasty stick from a famous Dutch international footballer, Marco Daft Bastard, on John's channel. So shout out to our mods, you're the tops. I love you all.
Yeah, absolutely. And from now on, they're going to be known as the Toon Review Mod Squad. Absolute legends that they are behind the scenes, doing a cracking job for this channel, and fantastic sense of humor. They are brilliant people to help run this channel, and I couldn't do it without them. They are massive to this channel, and we love them all. And they're very, very basically all the mods on this channel are very close to my heart, and they do a cracking job and a part of this family as far as I'm concerned. So it's not just the people who are on the screen; it's the people who are behind the scenes as well, working their asses off. And they don't have to. That's the thing about it. They do it voluntarily, and they do an absolutely fantastic job. And I don't think there's any other channel has mods as good as ours and as mods as brilliant as ours who really, really want the channel to succeed and will help with that. So absolute legends, the mods, and we're just one big family on this channel, as you know, and we will keep growing and growing and growing. And we will very tight-knit family, and you guys out there as well. The viewers and the subscribers as well make this channel what it is. So thank you very much for that. But that is it for tonight. I do hope you sleep well tonight in this heat. I don't know whether I'm going to, because I'm sweating like one of one of Ryan's beavers before it's put in the pan, awaiting its fate. But hopefully it cool down a bit tomorrow and be a bit more comfortable for everybody. But stay safe out there, guys, and we'll catch you for the next live on Thursday night. But there'll probably be a video before then. Good night, guys.
Away the lads.